guys, welcome to another edition of Build Model Review, and this time it's time for a 1961 Ford Galaxie. This car is an AMT Styline edition 1961 Ford Galaxie Club Victoria. It was built from the AMT kit. It is completely box stock, and I added no detail other than paint and foil. This 61 Galaxie was painted in our original Ford Motor Company color called Laurel Green, and I think is a color that suits the car very well. It's a light metallic green, almost a mint green, and the car almost looks like it was designed to be painted this color. Like you have already noticed, I'm not much of a fan of painting cars red. The color I can say I like the most is black, but those early 60s Fords, they look great in this kind of color because it replicates the car that would belong to the normal person and not to the hot hodder. Well, keeping the review, this kit is fairly simple. In fact, it is just basically a race-suit promo. It has no engine. It is a curbside, and like you can see, the body proportions are really great, very accurate to the real car. And yeah, I tested it. I have access to one of those in 1/1 scale, and the model looks just right, looks just accurate next to it. So the body proportions are great. Well, there is not much detail on the kit itself, as even the front seat is molded in the tub, so it's a little harder to detail and to paint. But at the same time that it's harder to paint, it's easier to assemble, and there are less chances for some mishap with the glue to happen, and this happens. One thing I did different, and I corrected, if you would say so, are the taillights. The taillights of the 61 Galaxie, they look in real life a lot like the custom taillights that AMT sends with this kit. So what I did, I cut the custom taillights apart and install them here in place of the stock taillights. They had a little panel here, just like this one, bonding the two together, and I just cut them out of this little panel. I did the same with the stock taillights that were a single piece with this rear panel here. Cut them out, install the panel first, and then install the custom taillights that have this very nice starburst effect here that is in fact a lot closer to looking like a stock taillight for the 61 Galaxie. So this is a little detail that can improve the stock look of your model. Another thing I had to do was to paint the white walls on the tires, because my kit came with none. And even though it's a curbside and has the wrong pattern on the side panels that AMT carried over from the 1960 Ford and is not correct for a 61, the model looks quite nice, and yes, I would build it again. One thing that made the build of this kit a lot easier was that I cut the front and rear windows apart because they are united by some plastic here in the middle, the front to the rear, and mine came out pretty badly warped, so I had to cut them apart and install them separately in the front and on the rear of the roof. And actually this improved the position of the front window that, like you see, has a little belly sticking out, and that was not visible with the window united to the rear window by the plastic strap, because it set a lot more to the inside of the body, and this concavity here is actually accurate for the 61 Ford. The underside is just one piece with solid axles on front and rear, and I really love this because it makes putting the model together a breeze. I really am not one of those detail nuts that need to have every single part separated, and I'm pretty happy with the promo style chassis. And this one was painted with Ford primer and detail painted with Model Masters flat black acrylic, and then I gave to the entire floor a coat of acrylic semi-gloss clear. After the clear was dry, I painted with Model Master acrylic gloss black the transmission pan and the oil pan of the engine to make them a little different, and used testers flat aluminum that, even though is not the most correct color, it goes on very well to paint the transmission casing, the drive shaft, and the exhaust and the fuel tank. And this was all brush painted. When I brush painted here the rear suspension, I did leave the rear pumpkin here painted the same color as the floorboards, that is Ford primer, even though this part is not really primer, but it came from the factory painted a color that's a brownish red, very close to the floor pan color. Well, if you look closely to this kit, for example here in the muffler, you can see what was left from the lettering, the promotional lettering, back when it was a promo. And here it would say aluminized muffler. I know that because I have the promo. Here on the frame rail you can see the remaining of the lettering, as you can see a little here on the floor pan. See, Ford actually had AMT to print the real car facts here on the underside of the promo, so the person that would go to the dealership and get one of those promos would know the cool facts about the ever superior Ford car. Yeah, I'm a Ford guy. Well, I hope you have enjoyed this video, and I highly recommend this little AMT kit if you want to build something that's fast to build and builds into a very cool little model without being worried about a zillion little parts that can break loose when you try to take pictures of your model, or that you can actually lose when you are building the model. Well guys, thank you very much for watching and have a great week.